During chemistry class, the principal called my name over the intercom. Is Daisy Williams present in school today? I was sitting right there in third period chemistry when Mr. Peterson's voice crackled through the speaker. I looked around confused, wondering why he was asking if I was present when I was obviously at my lab table working on the acid-base experiment. Mrs. Rodriguez looked directly at me and picked up her phone. Yes, Daisy Williams is here in my chemistry class, she said. There was a long pause, then she frowned. Are you sure? She's been here all morning. She hung up, looking puzzled, and told us to continue our lab work, but I couldn't focus. Why would the principal think I wasn't at school when I was clearly sitting there? During lunch, my friend Maya mentioned something weird. She said the attendance office had called her mom asking if Maya knew where I was, because I'd been marked absent from first and second period. But I was definitely in English first period and math second period. I remembered turning in my essay and taking the quiz. I went to the attendance office after lunch. Mrs. Lopez looked at me strangely when I walked in. Daisy, what are you doing here? Your mother called you out sick this morning. I told her there must be some mistake, that I'd been at school all day. She showed me her computer screen. According to the system, my mom had called at 7:30 a.m., saying I had the flu. But my mom had left yesterday for a business trip to Denver. She was in meetings all day and wouldn't be calling the school. Mrs. Lopez seemed skeptical when I tried to explain this. That afternoon in study hall, the substitute teacher looked up, confused when he called my name. Daisy Williams? You're not on my roster. It shows you as absent today. I showed him my schedule, proving I belonged there. He called the office, had a brief conversation, then told me there seemed to be some system error. But it wasn't an error. Walking to my locker, I overheard two teachers talking. Mrs. Patterson said, "It's so strange about the Williams girl. The mother called this morning saying Daisy was sick, but someone matching her description was spotted on campus." Mr. Rodriguez replied, "Maybe she snuck out to see friends. Teenagers do that when parents are away." They were talking about me like I was some kind of mystery. I realized someone had called pretending to be my mother, but who would do that? I checked with my English teacher after school. Miss Garcia seemed surprised to see me. Daisy, I thought you were out sick today. Your seat was empty in first period. But I distinctly remembered sitting there, participating in our discussion about The Great Gatsby. She showed me her attendance book with my name marked absent. Multiple teachers were telling me I hadn't been in classes I clearly remembered attending. Someone was creating deliberate confusion about my whereabouts. I called my mom's hotel immediately. When she answered, her voice was strained. Daisy, thank God. I've been trying to reach you all day. The school called me 6 times asking where you were. My blood went cold. If someone had impersonated my mom's voice to call me out sick, and the school thought I was absent while I was actually there, then someone was deliberately creating a false trail. Mom, I've been at school the entire time. Someone pretended to be you. There was silence. Then she said slowly, Daisy, I just got a call 20 minutes ago from someone claiming to be you, saying you were at Jessica's house for the night. I felt my stomach drop. Someone was impersonating both me and my mother, creating fake alibis and false locations. They were making it seem like I was places I wasn't. I was about to ask my mom what we should do when I heard footsteps on our front porch. Heavy boots. More than one person. Then I realized the horrible truth about why someone would want to erase all evidence of where I really was today. My heart pounds in my chest as the heavy footsteps approach our front door. I back away slowly, phone still clutched in my hand with my mom on the other end. Daisy? What's happening? Mom's voice crackles through the speaker. Before I can answer, there's a firm knock at the door. Not the casual rap of a neighbor or friend, but the authoritative knock of someone official. Daisy Williams? A deep voice calls through the door. This is Officer Ramirez with the local police. We need to speak with you. Relief floods through me, though it's quickly tempered by confusion. Mom, it's the police, I whisper into the phone. Let them in, but keep me on the line, she instructs. I approach the door cautiously, peering through the peephole to confirm 2 uniformed officers standing on our porch. I unlock the door with trembling fingers. Daisy Williams? The female officer asks as I open the door. Her nameplate reads, Chen. We received a report about suspicious activity involving your identity. May we come in? I step back, allowing them inside. My mom's on the phone. She's in Denver on business. Officer Ramirez nods grimly. That's part of why we're here. We have reason to believe someone has been impersonating both you and your mother today. The words send a chill through me, confirming my worst fears. I put my phone on speaker so Mom can hear. This is Catherine Williams, Mom says through the phone. I'm Daisy's mother. What exactly is happening with my daughter? Officer Chen takes a seat at our kitchen table, motioning for me to join her while Officer Ramirez begins examining our locks and windows. Mrs. Williams, we believe your daughter is the target of a sophisticated identity theft scheme, Officer Chen explains. It appears someone took advantage of your business trip to target your home and your daughter. The school has security footage showing 2 Daisy Williams in different parts of the building simultaneously today, Officer Ramirez adds, returning from his quick sweep of the house. There are signs someone's been inside your home recently. Cabinet drawers slightly ajar, papers moved. My skin crawls at the thought of someone in our house, touching our things, pretending to be me. I need to come home immediately, Mom says, her voice tight with controlled panic. That would be advisable. Officer Chen agrees. We've already spoken with security at your hotel. They confirmed receiving threatening calls asking for access to your room earlier today. Mom gasps. I'll be on the next flight. While Officer Ramirez continues securing the house, Officer Chen shows me images on her tablet. Security footage from school showing someone who looks exactly like me entering through the east entrance while I was walking in the west doors. The timestamp shows we arrived within 2 minutes of each other. That's impossible, I whisper, staring at my doppelganger. She's wearing the same style clothes I favor, her hair done exactly like mine, even walking with the same slight slouch I've been trying to correct. We've interviewed your teachers, Officer Chen continues. Mrs. Rodriguez confirmed you were in chemistry, while Miss Garcia insists you were absent from English. School records showed 2 Daisy Williams signing in through different entrances. Principal Peterson sends his apologies for the system confusion, Officer Ramirez adds. He's implementing emergency security protocols effective immediately. My phone buzzes with a text. It's from Jessica. My parents want to know why you never showed up. Are you okay? I show it to the officers. Someone told my mom I was staying at Jessica's tonight, but I never made those plans. Officer Chen nods grimly. We've already spoken with Jessica's parents. They received a call supposedly from your mother confirming you'd be there at 7 p.m. My phone buzzes again, this time with a social media notification. Maya has tagged me in photos from the mall. Photos of me at places I never visited, standing with people I barely know, time-stamped from this afternoon when I was definitely in school. How is this possible? I ask, my voice barely audible. That's what we're going to find out? Officer Ramirez says, finishing his inspection of the house. We're establishing a protective watch on your home tonight. Officers will be stationed outside until your mother returns. Mom's voice comes through the phone, tense and controlled. I've just checked our accounts. Someone accessed my banking information from 3 different locations today. Withdrawals were attempted but blocked by fraud protection. The officers exchange a significant look. Mrs. Williams, we'll need access to those records when you return, Officer Chen says. My phone buzzes with a text from Maya. Just remembered something weird. Saw someone who looked exactly like you in the bathroom during second period. But you were in math then, right? Freaking me out now with everything happening. I show the text to the officers, who add it to their notes. An hour later, a plainclothes detective arrives. She introduces herself as Detective Garcia, no relation to my English teacher, her sharp eyes taking in every detail of our home. Based on the evidence, she says after reviewing everything, someone is deliberately creating a false timeline of Daisy's movements. This isn't random identity theft. The coordination, the timing, the simultaneous appearances, this is methodical. Someone wanted to establish Daisy was in multiple places at once. But why? I ask, the question that's been haunting me since this nightmare began. Detective Garcia looks at me with grave eyes. That's what concerns me most. Creating alibis and false locations is typically done for one reason, to prepare for something where timing and location will be critically important. The implication hangs in the air between us. Unspoken but clear, someone was setting the stage for something much worse than identity theft. As darkness falls outside, I sit in our living room surrounded by police officers, waiting for my mom's flight to arrive, wondering who could possibly want to become me and why they needed me to be in 2 places at once. The security specialist Mom hired arrives at 8 a.m. sharp the next morning. Mr. Daniels is a former military intelligence officer with a no-nonsense demeanor and equipment that looks like it belongs in a spy movie. He moves through our house methodically, running devices along walls and checking every outlet. Your home is compromised, he announces after 2 hours, setting a small black box on our kitchen table. I've found 7 wireless signal interceptors and evidence of at least a dozen micro cameras. Mom's face goes pale. We've barely slept since she returned on a red-eye flight last night, and the dark circles under her eyes make her look haunted. Show me, she says. Mr. Daniels leads us through the house, pointing out nearly invisible devices tucked into air vents, light fixtures, even inside the smoke detector in my bedroom. Each discovery makes me feel more violated, knowing someone has been watching me in my most private moments. The interference patterns suggest these have been operational for at least 3 months, he explains, carefully removing a pinhole camera from my bathroom mirror frame. Very sophisticated equipment, military grade. My phone buzzes with notifications while he works. I've been avoiding social media since yesterday, but curiosity gets the better of me. When I check my accounts, my blood runs cold. Mom, I whisper, holding out my phone. Look at this. My Instagram shows posts I never made, photos of me at parties I never attended, with captions that sound nothing like me. The most recent, posted an hour ago, shows me flipping off the camera with the caption, "All you fake friends can go to hell. You know who you are." I didn't post any of this, I say, scrolling through dozens of similar updates across all my accounts. Detective Garcia arrives as Mr. Daniels is finishing his sweep. She takes one look at my phone and immediately calls in a tech specialist. "This is escalating," she says grimly. "We're seeing a pattern here." My phone buzzes with texts from classmates, some angry, some hurt, all responding to horrible messages they received from me overnight. Jessica's reads, "Why are you spreading lies about me to the police? I'm going to make you regret it." Maya's is even worse, containing threats against her family if she keeps lying to cover for me. "I didn't send these," I say, showing Detective Garcia. "I would never." "We know," she says, her expression softening momentarily. "This is part of their strategy. Isolate you from your support network." Mom's phone rings, and when she answers, her face turns to stone. She puts it on speaker. "Mrs. Williams, this is Principal Peterson. There's been an incident. We need you to come to the school immediately. A man claiming to be Daisy's father attempted to sign her out of class this morning." "I'll be right there," Mom says, her voice tight. She ends the call and looks at Detective Garcia. "My ex-husband was supposed to be in prison for another 3 years. Detective Garcia's eyes narrow. "I'll check on his status immediately." Within minutes, she confirms what Mom feared. He was released early, 6 weeks ago. The notification was supposedly sent, but never arrived. At school, the atmosphere has completely changed. Security guards stand at every entrance, checking IDs and scanning faces against a database. Principal Peterson meets us in his office, looking deeply troubled. "After yesterday's events, we implemented strict identity verification protocols," he explains, "which is why we were able to stop the man claiming to be Daisy's father. Our new system flagged the discrepancy immediately." He turns his computer monitor toward us, showing security footage of a man I barely recognize. He's thinner than I remember, his face harder, but it's definitely him. The man who used to be my stepfather before he went to prison for fraud and assault. He had identification claiming to be Daisy's biological father. Principal Peterson continues. "Very convincing documentation." Mom's hands are shaking. "Did he say why he was here?" "Claimed there was a family emergency and needed to take Daisy to the hospital." Principal Peterson looks at me. "Thankfully, we knew you were still in class." Detective Garcia studies the footage. This connects to 3 similar cases I've been tracking statewide. In each, someone created elaborate false identities and documentation to target specific families. Back home, I retreat to my room, while Mom and Detective Garcia discuss security options. I need a moment alone to process everything. My journal sits on my nightstand where I always keep it, but something feels off. I flip through the pages and feel my stomach drop. Entire sections have been torn out and replaced with handwriting that looks eerily like mine but isn't. The new entries describe plans to run away, complaints about Mom, and disturbing thoughts about hurting people who've wronged me. It's like reading the diary of a stranger who's trying to be me, but a darker, angrier version. I'm still staring at the journal when my phone rings with an unknown number. Something compels me to answer. "Daisy Williams," the voice is distorted, electronically altered. "Who is this?" I ask. "Someone who knows what's happening to you. Look up Project Mirror, military experimental technology for identity replication. Your mother worked on it before you were born. They're testing it on you now." The call disconnects. I sit frozen, the phone still pressed to my ear. Mom appears in my doorway, holding an official-looking envelope. "Daisy, we just received this." Her hand trembles as she passes it to me. It's a court summons for me, for vandalism, assault, and breaking and entering at a local business last night, the exact time I was home with police officers surrounding our house. "This is impossible. It's forgery," Mom says firmly, "but a very good one." Detective Garcia examines the document. "This is part of their strategy. Create legal problems that force you to prove your whereabouts constantly." My phone buzzes with a text from Maya. "My parents got a threatening call about me helping you. They're freaking out. Someone knows where we live and described the inside of our house. What's happening?" Before I can respond, Detective Garcia's phone rings. Her expression darkens as she listens. "We need to see this immediately," she says, ending the call. Security footage from the mall shows someone who appears to be Daisy entering restricted areas in the service corridors yesterday afternoon. We gather around her laptop as she plays the footage. The person on screen is me, or someone who looks exactly like me, moving with purpose through employee-only areas, examining security panels, testing doors. "That's not me," I say unnecessarily. Everyone in the room knows I was at school, then home with police protection. "The technology they're using is incredibly sophisticated," Detective Garcia says. "This goes beyond makeup or masks." Mom's phone rings again. This time it's a colleague from her research days. She steps away to take the call, but I can hear fragments. "Classified project. Identity replication technology. Never meant for civilian application." When she returns, her face is ashen. "I need to tell you something," she says to Detective Garcia. "Something I was never supposed to discuss." Before she can continue, I notice something on my desk that makes my blood freeze. It's a framed photo of me as a child at the beach, a photo I've had for years. But now there's someone else in it, a boy about my age standing next to me, his arm around my shoulders. A boy who was never there in the original photo. I pick it up with trembling hands. Mom, look at this. She takes the photo, her eyes widening in horror. That's not possible. Mr. Daniels, who has been scanning our living room, calls us over. I've found something you need to see. He pries open a section of baseboard to reveal a small black box with wires running into the wall. This is a central hub for a sophisticated surveillance network. Your entire house is being monitored, audio and video, in every room. The realization hits me like a physical blow. Someone hasn't just been watching us, they've been studying us, learning how to become us. And now they're using that knowledge to systematically destroy our lives. Who would do this? I ask, my voice barely a whisper. Mom and Detective Garcia exchange a look I can't quite interpret. Someone who wants to erase you, Detective Garcia says finally, and replace you with their own version. I sit at my desk, staring at the screen until my eyes burn. 3 days of this nightmare, and I've finally found something. The digital breadcrumbs are faint, but they're there, hidden routing protocols buried in the metadata of the fake social media posts. Someone got sloppy. Mom, I call out, my voice tight with urgency. I think I found something. She appears in my doorway instantly, Detective Garcia right behind her. They've barely left my side since the discovery of the surveillance equipment. Look at this, I say, pointing to the screen where I've isolated IP addresses from the posts made by my doppelganger. All these posts are being routed through different servers, but they originate from the same place, an abandoned research facility outside town. Detective Garcia leans closer, her expression sharpening. The old Meridian complex, that place has been shut down for years. Mom goes completely still beside me, the kind of stillness that means something significant just happened. Catherine? Detective Garcia notices it too. Mom sits heavily on my bed, her face ashen. I worked at Meridian before Daisy was born. The room falls silent as we wait for her to continue. It was classified military research, she says finally. Identity masking technology designed to allow operatives to move undetected in hostile environments. We were developing synthetic skin overlays with embedded biometric mimicry capabilities. Synthetic skin? I repeat, my stomach turning. Like face masks? Much more advanced than that, Mom says, her voice hollow. The prototypes could replicate fingerprints, retinal patterns, even voice signatures. The technology was still experimental when I left the program. There were ethical concerns. Detective Garcia's phone buzzes. She checks it and her expression darkens. We just traced your ex-husband's cell signal. He's been at the Meridian facility for the past 3 days. Mom's hands begin to shake. He always said he'd find a way to take Daisy from me. I need to make a call, Detective Garcia says, stepping into the hallway. I turn back to my computer, digging deeper into the digital trail, when a text from Maya appears. Need to talk. Just us. Meet me at the park? Something about the message feels off. Maya knows we're under police protection. She wouldn't ask me to meet her somewhere alone. I think they're using Maya somehow, I tell Mom, showing her the text. Don't respond, she says immediately. We need to talk to Detective Garcia. But before we can call her back, another text arrives with a photo attached. Maya sitting in what looks like a storage room, tear streaks on her face, holding today's newspaper. Please come alone, or they'll hurt my brother. They know things about him that could send him to prison. My blood runs cold. They've got Maya. Detective Garcia returns just as I'm showing Mom the photo. She takes one look and immediately calls for backup. We're not waiting, she says, already moving toward the door. They're escalating. Within 20 minutes, we're sitting in Detective Garcia's office with Maya's parents. They're frantic. Maya never came home from school. When did you last hear from her? Detective Garcia asks. Around noon, her father says, his voice breaking. She texted saying she was staying late for a study group. I remember the weird conversation I had with Maya yesterday, how she kept changing details about seeing me in the bathroom during second period. At the time, I thought she was just confused. But now, I need to talk to Maya's brother, I say suddenly. Everyone turns to look at me. Why? Maya's mother asks, her voice sharp with suspicion. Because I think he might be involved in this, I say, the pieces finally clicking together. The text mentioned him specifically, that they have information that could send him to prison. Maya's parents exchange a look I can't quite read. He's been acting strange lately, her father admits reluctantly. Secretive. Coming home with expensive electronics we know he can't afford. Detective Garcia dispatches officers to find Maya's brother while we wait in tense silence. My phone buzzes again, another message from Maya. Time's running out. Come to Meridian alone or you'll never see me again. I show Detective Garcia, who immediately calls in a tactical team. We're raiding the facility, now. Everything moves quickly after that. Mom and I are instructed to stay at the police station while Detective Garcia coordinates with the tactical team. But as they're preparing to leave, Maya's brother is brought in, his face pale and defiant. I didn't know they'd take her, he blurts out before anyone can speak. I just needed the money. What did you do? his father demands. I sold some tech, he admits, looking at the floor. Military stuff. This guy approached me at a hacking convention, said he'd pay big money for access to experimental facial recognition software. I didn't know what he was really planning. Who approached you? Detective Garcia asks sharply. He said his name was James, Maya's brother says, but I heard Maya call him Mr. Williams once. Mom gasps. That's my ex-husband. He used Maya's brother to get access to Daisy's information. The raid on Meridian happens at dusk. We watch the live feed from the tactical team's cameras on monitors at the police station. The abandoned research facility looks like something from a sci-fi horror movie, dusty labs filled with outdated equipment, except for one section that's been recently renovated with cutting-edge technology. That's military-grade equipment, Mom whispers, pointing to a machine that looks like an MRI scanner connected to a 3D printer. That's the synthetic skin fabricator. It shouldn't exist outside of classified facilities. The cameras show the team moving deeper into the complex, room by room, until they reach what appears to be a control center. Multiple screens show footage of me walking to school, in my bedroom, talking with friends, thousands of hours of surveillance. They've been watching her for months, Detective Garcia says, her voice tight with anger. And then they find Maya, locked in a storage room just like in the photo. She's terrified but unharmed. As they escort her out, she keeps repeating, "He made me do it. He said he'd hurt my brother if I didn't help him." The tactical team continues searching, finding room after room of evidence, detailed plans of our house, school schedules, recordings of my voice that have been digitally manipulated to create new sentences I never said. And then they find a laboratory with a human-shaped form lying on a table. It looks like me, but not quite. A sophisticated mannequin with my face, connected to computers that seem to be programming its movements. That's the prototype, Mom whispers, her face white with shock. The synthetic double. It's AI control designed to mimic human behavior perfectly. The cameras show the team securing the room, documenting everything, when suddenly alarms begin blaring. Red warning lights flash across all the monitors. System purge initiated. A computerized voice announces, all data will be permanently deleted in 60 seconds. The tactical team rushes to stop the deletion, but it's too late. Screens go dark one by one as the facility's systems begin systematically erasing themselves. He's not there, Detective Garcia realizes, scanning the monitors. Your ex-husband triggered this remotely. He knew we were coming. By the time they bring Maya to the station, most of the evidence at Meridian has been destroyed. She collapses into her parents' arms, sobbing uncontrollably. I'm sorry, she keeps saying, looking at me with red-rimmed eyes. He found me at school 3 months ago, said he was your stepdad and needed help planning a surprise for you. Maya, it's okay, I say, though nothing about this situation is remotely okay. At first, it was just little things, telling him your schedule, taking pictures of you at school, she continues, the words pouring out between sobs. But then he started asking for more copies of your homework to study your handwriting, recordings of your voice. When I tried to stop, he showed me evidence of my brother's hacking, said he'd make sure Ryan went to prison if I didn't keep helping. Detective Garcia sits across from Maya, her voice gentle but firm. We need to know everything, Maya, every detail. Maya takes a shuddering breath. He has this mask thing. It looks exactly like Daisy. I saw him put it on once. It was the most terrifying thing I've ever seen. One minute he was this scary older guy. The next he was. T points at me, shivering. He said it was just the beginning. That soon he'd have a perfect copy that could replace her completely. Replace me? I repeat, my voice barely audible. Why? To take you, Maya whispers. He said once he had the perfect alibi system in place, proof that you were in multiple locations, he could make the real you disappear and no one would believe you were missing, because the fake you would still be here. Mom makes a sound like she's been punched. He was going to kidnap her and leave the synthetic double in her place. That's why he created all those false sightings and contradictory records. Detective Garcia says, the full picture finally becoming clear. He was establishing a pattern of confusion about Daisy's whereabouts, so that when she actually disappeared, it would just seem like more of the same confusion. My phone buzzes one last time. The message makes my blood freeze. This isn't over, Daisy. You'll always be looking over your shoulder now, wondering which of your friends is really me in disguise. I'll always be watching, and when you least expect it, I'll take what's mine. Detective Garcia takes the phone from my trembling hands. We'll find him, she promises. The entire facility is being treated as a crime scene. Even with the data purge, there will be evidence. As we prepare to leave the station, the power suddenly cuts out. Emergency lights flicker on, casting eerie shadows across the walls. In the momentary darkness, I feel a hand brush against my arm and a voice that sounds exactly like Maya's whispers in my ear. How do you know I'm really Maya? When the lights come back on seconds later, Maya is across the room with her parents, nowhere near me. I stare at her, cold dread settling in my stomach. If he can become anyone, how will I ever feel safe again? The courtroom feels too small, too sterile, as I watch my ex-stepfather being led away in handcuffs. His eyes lock with mine for a brief, chilling moment before the bailiff pushes him through the side door. Even now, with his face fully visible, and not hidden behind a synthetic mask of my features, I can see the calculation in his gaze, like he's still plotting, still planning. "It's over," Mom whispers, squeezing my hand, but we both know that's not entirely true. 3 weeks have passed since the raid on the Meridian facility. 3 weeks of military intelligence officers combing through what little evidence survived the data purge. 3 weeks of me jumping at shadows and scrutinizing every face I pass in the hallway at school. Detective Garcia meets us outside the courtroom. The judge denied bail. He'll remain in custody until the trial. "When will that be?" Mom asks. "That's complicated." Detective Garcia hesitates. "Most of the evidence has been classified by military intelligence. They're taking over the investigation." "What does that mean for us?" I ask. "It means a lot of what happened will never become public record." She looks genuinely regretful. "The technology, he stole your mother's research. It was never supposed to exist outside secure government facilities." On our way home, we pass the school. The new security measures are impossible to miss: biometric scanners at every entrance, guards checking IDs, cameras everywhere. Principal Peterson implemented a complete security overhaul after what happened. Now every student must scan both their ID card and their fingerprint to enter or exit the building. "It feels like a prison," I murmur. "It feels safe," Mom counters, but I can hear the doubt in her voice. At home, Mr. Daniels is finishing his weekly security sweep. Our house has been transformed into a technological fortress. Motion sensors, biometric locks, signal jammers to prevent wireless intrusion. The government paid for it all, part of their effort to contain the situation. "All clear," he reports. "No new surveillance devices detected." I should feel relieved. Instead, I find myself checking under my bed before I can sleep, examining my closet for signs of intrusion, scrutinizing my own reflection in the mirror to make sure it's really me looking back. My phone buzzes with a text from Jessica. "Study group tomorrow? We miss you." I stare at the message, my fingers hovering over the keyboard. How can I be sure it's really Jessica? How can I know it's not someone wearing her face, using her phone? The thought paralyzes me. Mom finds me still staring at the unanswered text 20 minutes later. "Honey," she says softly, sitting beside me on the bed, "you can't live like this forever. I don't know how to trust anyone anymore." I admit, my voice cracking. Every time I look at someone, I wonder if it's really them or if it's him wearing their face. The next day, I have my first session with Dr. Brennan, a specialist in identity violation trauma. The government arranged this too, one of the few psychologists with security clearance to know what actually happened to me. "What you're experiencing is a normal response to an extremely abnormal situation," she tells me, her voice calm and measured. "Your sense of reality was deliberately manipulated. Your boundaries were violated in one of the most profound ways possible." "How do I get past this?" I ask. "I can't even look at my friends without wondering if they're really who they appear to be." "It will take time," she says, "but we'll work on rebuilding your sense of security step by step." When I return to school the following week, the whispers follow me through the hallways. Most students know only fragments of what happened: that someone was impersonating me, that there was a police raid, that Maya's family suddenly moved away without explanation. The rumors range from witness protection to government experiments gone wrong. They're not entirely wrong. Principal Peterson calls me to his office during third period. Mrs. Rodriguez gives me a sympathetic look as I leave chemistry class. Everyone treats me differently now, like I might shatter at any moment. "Daisy," Principal Peterson says when I enter his office, "I wanted to check in on how you're adjusting to the new security protocols." "They're thorough," I say diplomatically. He nods, looking uncomfortable. "I also wanted to apologize again for what happened. Our systems should have caught the discrepancies sooner." "It wasn't your fault," I tell him, though part of me still wonders how no one noticed there were two of me walking the halls for weeks. As I leave his office, I spot two people in dark suits speaking with the school secretary. They look up as I pass, their expressions carefully neutral. I've seen them before: government agents assigned to monitor me for lingering technology effects, whatever that means. They're never introduced themselves, but they're always watching. At lunch, I sit alone until Miss Garcia, my English teacher, not the detective, approaches with a gentle smile. "Mind if I join you?" I nod, surprised. She sets down her tray and sits across from me. "I heard about your mother's new position," she says. "Mom's security clearance was revoked after everything that happened, her past research breaches coming back to haunt her, but her expertise was too valuable to waste. The government offered her a position developing countermeasures against the very technology she helped create, technology that was used against us. She starts next month," I say. "We'll be moving closer to the research center." "We'll miss you here," Miss Garcia says sincerely, "but I understand why you need a fresh start." After school, I attend my first meeting of the support group Dr. Brennan helped me organize. There are only 5 of us, all victims of technology-based identity theft. None experienced exactly what I did, But they understand the violation, the paranoia, the constant looking over your shoulder. I check my accounts 20 times a day, admits a woman in her 30s. I installed cameras in every room of my house. I can't look in mirrors anymore, says a man with haunted eyes. I'm afraid I'll see someone else looking back. I listen to their stories and share pieces of mine, the parts I'm allowed to talk about. It helps, knowing I'm not alone in this new reality where identities can be stolen not just on paper but in the flesh. That night, Mom shows me the final piece of evidence from my ex-stepfather's case that wasn't classified, a journal they found at the Meridian facility. Page after page of obsessive writings about his family, detailed plans to reclaim what was stolen from him. Photos of Mom and me, with our faces circled, timelines of our daily routines stretching back years. He never stopped watching us, Mom says quietly. Even from prison, he found ways to monitor our lives, waiting for the right moment. Why did the military let us see this? I ask. They wanted us to understand the scope of what we were dealing with. His obsession wasn't just with the technology, it was with us. With you. She takes my hand. The tribunal wants you to testify next month. Testify? I thought everything was classified. It's a closed military tribunal, not a public trial. They need your first-hand account of the synthetic double's capabilities. I think about facing him again, about describing to a room full of military officials how it felt to have my identity stolen so completely. The thought makes my stomach turn. But I nod anyway. I'll do it. 2 days later, Maya calls from an unlisted number. Her family entered witness protection after threats against her brother escalated. The military is taking no chances with anyone connected to the stolen technology. I can't tell you where we are, she says, her voice sounding tinny and distant. But I needed to hear your voice, to know you're okay. I'm getting there, I tell her, surprised to find it's not entirely a lie. How are you holding up? New name, new school, new everything. She tries to sound upbeat but fails. The agents watching us don't even pretend to be subtle. We talk for 15 minutes before she has to go. I don't know when or if I'll hear from her again. That night, I look at my reflection in the bathroom mirror and really study my face, the face he tried to steal, to replicate, to replace. For the first time since this nightmare began, I recognize myself completely. The fear is still there, the trauma still fresh, but beneath it all is a certainty that wasn't there before. This is me, the real Daisy Williams, and no technology, no matter how advanced, can truly take that away. As Mom and I pack up our house for the move, I find the framed beach photo that had been altered to include the mysterious boy. The military confiscated the altered version, but this is the original, just me, smiling at the camera, completely unaware of how my life would change. Ready for a fresh start? Mom asks, sealing a box labeled Daisy's room. I look around at our home, at the walls that once hid cameras watching our every move, at the spaces that no longer feel safe. Then I look at my mother, who lost her career but found a new purpose in protecting others from what happened to us. Yes, I say, and for the first time in weeks, I feel something like hope. I think I am.